The law is the law. The same way under the Al Capone theory. They couldn't get him for murder, racketeering, extortion. They couldn't get him for bootlegging or any of the other crimes. They got him for this because...
We all know the prospective indictment against Donald Trump involves hush money payments that he made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels and at least one other woman. But what's the actual felony charge that could be at the center of the Manhattan DA's case, and what would he have to prove? Let's talk about it. Welcome into TYT's Overruled. I'm your legal analyst, Adrienne Lawrence. At the center of the Manhattan DA's case against former President Donald Trump will likely be this crime, falsifying business records. It's a felony in the first degree, but it can also be a misdemeanor in the second. But before we get to what the punishment would carry, here's what the DA would have to prove in Trump's case, and also why the degrees matter. Per New York Penal Code, Section 17505. An individual is guilty of falsifying business records in the second degree, a misdemeanor, when, with intent to defraud, he makes or causes a false entry in the business records of an enterprise, or alters, erases, obliterates, deletes, removes, or destroys a true entry in the business records of an enterprise, or omits to make a true entry in the business records of an enterprise in violation of a duty to do so, which is known to be imposed upon him in law or the nature of his position, or prevents the making of a true entry or causes the omission thereof in the business records of an enterprise. Basically, it's a misdemeanor if you fiddle with some business records in hopes of misleading people. But that offense becomes a first-degree felony when you do it to commit or conceal another crime. So what would be necessary in Trump's case to find him guilty of a felony here? Well, the DA would have to prove that Trump cooked his books so that he could commit or cover up another crime. And of the potential crimes, well, it seems that Trump would likely be trying to cover up the campaign finance violations that his former attorney, Michael Cohen, committed, which he also pled guilty to. That is, that he made false statements to a federally insured financial institution in connection with a $500,000 home equity loan, and in 2016 caused $280,000 in payments to be made to silence two women who otherwise planned to speak publicly about their alleged affairs with a presidential candidate, thereby intending to influence a 2016 presidential election. A jury would have to find that this underlying crime actually happened, which shouldn't really be that hard since Cohen pled guilty to it, right?
The team that is putting this case together, they're very competent. They know all the facts. Now they could attack me and talk about credibility, which is something that you're seeing on a lot of the other stations. That's okay. Very much like when I went and I testified before the House Oversight Committee, I come with the facts.
Well, now in terms of punishment, under New York law, a felony falsifying business records, that carries a punishment of up to 4 years in prison. If the jury didn't believe that Trump did try to cover up a crime, well, that could still find him guilty of a misdemeanor, which would carry up to a year in prison. But a judge would have the discretion in both cases of whether to sentence Trump to serve time at all. Falsifying business records is a very common offense, however, prosecuted in New York. In fact, last year, Trump's company was convicted of falsifying business records in the first degree, as was his chief financial officer, Alan Weisselberg, who was ultimately sentenced to 5 months in jail. And that was, of course, because he agreed to be a cooperating witness in the trial against Trump's company. So as it concerns his punishment, if Trump were to be convicted, do you think that he may turn on some folks in order to avoid jail time? Maybe cut a deal? You let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like and follow button, and thanks for watching.